Match 28. Megaguirus vs. Kamacuras Millennium vs. Gamera Heisei by Thomas Singleton. Sweltering heat bathed San Francisco. Blue skies hung high above the rooftops, stretching past the horizon. Perched beyond it was the sun, with the capital S, shedding its light upon the world. Hundreds of thousands of people flooded the streets, unaffected by the blazing temperatures. I mean, I'm sure we all sweat, but whatever. To them, it was as natural to their lives as day and night. Tourists traveled amongst them, snapping photographs of famous landmarks.
You have to pay $5.
Yeah. Around a street corner, a family of 5 broke into a sprint, juggling their belongings with every step. They were determined to catch a bus and return to their hotel. They never expected to be scooped up and devoured by an unseen giant.
Great family vacation.
Yeah, I know, it's the best family vacation.
Hey, Royce, it's when did Gamera eat people?
Who said it was Gamera?
It might be a monster master.
Nobody knows.
I have an appetite.
Nobody knows the humongous cracks on the side of a skyscraper. Nobody could have guessed the cracks were caused by an insect larger than a jumbo jet.
Now, hold on. What kind of cracks are these? Are these a certain ass crack, or what?
I will find you.
Nobody knew that the kaiju known as Kamacuras was still clinging to the building, and nobody would ever hear from the family again. Stealthy little bugger.
Oh, no shit. No, really? I thought we would have heard the family again. They were only eaten alive.
The giant praying mantis digested their remains. Kamacuras scanned the vicinity and all its inhabitants, contemplating the different ways it could quell its appetite. It tilted its head, faintly exposing its complexion. Kamacuras' green carapace contracted greatly with its surroundings. Its sharp pincers glinted in the sunlight. Bulbous eyes peered in all directions. Saliva secreted out of its mandibles, dousing an entire vacant parking lot. To the uninformed, it was nothing more but a broken pipeline. Yeah. I just like the idea that no one notices this giant, insect. It's like, everyone's seen Predator. Everyone can spot the Predator when it's in the distance, but a giant building-sized, Mirage, no one noticed that.
Right. I mean, to be fair, this could be the camouflage ability in effect. No, wait, green carapace contracted greatly. Oh, yeah. How's nobody noticed that? And also,
he's next to a greenhouse apparently. No one noticed. He's like, oh yeah, that's normal. That's natural.
I guess he just must have been lucky to land on a green building without using his camouflage. Lucky bugger.
In the middle. Yeah, exactly. Kamacuras' carapace warped the light, rendering it invisible to the naked eye. Oh, well, there we go. No screen could be heard.
Complaining, there's your
We just had to read
one sentence. There were no crowds fleeing for their lives. If Kamacuras had been seen, it was only by a few. With its tail still covered intact, Kamacuras moved to devour another unsuspecting family. Also, $20 says that there's a guy with a sign that says the end is coming, and he's the one screaming about the giant bug, and everyone's just like, just ignore the crazy man.
Yeah.
Suddenly, the streets writhed with fear. The roads became paved by a sea of screaming people. Kamacuras pondered if it was visible, but noticed its camouflage had not been compromised. An unearthly wail drowned out the frightened people. Before Kamacuras could find the source, blinding light hindered its vision. Within an instant, Kamacuras became visible to the world. It leapt into the air, unfolding its wings from its backside and avoided death. Yep, there's that backside again.
Yep, there's that backside. Plenty of it.
A fireball skimmed past the evading insect and struck the skyscraper, killing everyone inside, basically. But, let's just ignore that. From within its center, the fireball detonated. The skyscraper was built to withstand earthquakes and other natural phenomenon. But its sturdy foundations could not contain the powerful flames. The explosion incinerated the complex and erupted into the streets. No matter how hard people ran, no matter where they tried to hide, the flames swept them off the ground, reducing them to a cloud of ash. Pass.
The flames bind them and kill them.
Wait, who's next? Am I next?
yeah, you're next. Then Deserve, then GVJ.
Kamacuras flew down the street, appearing as a blur. Shockwaves ripped off its speeding form, shattering glass and other appliances. Kamacuras needn't look back to identify its attacker. Its eyes captured the arrival of Gamera, the guardian of the universe. Azure-hued light blazed out of his leg sockets. The wind swished past his scaly features. Gamera's emerald eyes focused on Kamacuras speeding out of his reach. A low, crumbling escaped Gamera's throat, signaling regret. He had tried obliterating the insect earlier, but instead of succeeding, he only ended up taking hundreds of innocent lives.
Traitor.
It was with great sadness that Gamera realized there had been more casualties before the day was done. Tourists gathered to see the Golden Gate Bridge. It was one of the longest suspension bridges on the planet.
No,
Today
really?
was an important stop on their tour, yet cheerful expressions were replaced by grim remorse. Plumes of dark smoke defiled the distant scenery. Before they could determine the reason, a shadow crept over them. Frightened eyes gazed up at a giant dragonfly. Its size dwarfed even Kamacuras. Out of its wretched sockets, crimson orbs gaped at the herds of tourists. Megaguirus opened her ravenous jaws, revealing dozens of serrated teeth. An ear-shattering screech removed any hope for those within the region. For unexplained reason, nobody expected a quick, merciful death. Pass.
Kamacuras dissipated the air with its unprecedented speed. Gamera followed in pursuit, discharging 2 fireballs. But he watched helplessly as they missed their target and engulfed several city blocks in a sea of fire. Before Gamera could mourn for the lives lost, Kamacuras' wings stopped flapping. To Gamera's surprise, Kamacuras waited in midair for Gamera to inch closer. Before Gamera could crush the praying mantis with his jaws, Kamacuras rolled onto the back of his shell and hooked its pincher between it and Gamera's neck. It no longer needed to fly by its own accord. Gamera howled angrily, but could not remove his unwanted hitchhiker. With its other pincher, Kamacuras clobbered the back of Gamera's skull.
It's clobbering time.
I'm banning you. Gamera's flesh was thick. Gamera's flesh was thick. Alright, I'm expecting GBJ to say something about that now. Hard enough to withstand conventional weaponry and the devastating blows of other kaiju. Yet Kamacuras' sharp instruments proved effective. Green blood gushed out of Gamera's splintered flesh. Painful cries escaped Gamera's maw, but only
God
urged
damn it, Kamacuras
to continue the assault.
You stuck it in the wrong hole again.
This is getting too lewd for me.
Seriously, what is what?
Kamacuras' painful swipes, Gamera arced his body in a horizontal path before tucking his head and arms into his shell.
Now hold on. What is with Gamera and always getting it stuck in the wrong hole? Do other kaiju have something against him? Do they want to inflict bodily harm on him?
Well, to be fair, when Gamera is flying, he has like 5 holes. If only one of them's the right hole, you're bound to get the wrong one.
But then again, Gamera never tells him.
He likes it.
Now, here's the thing. Gamera's not saying he enjoys pain, but he doesn't oppose of it.
He's a sub. Playing so much about Showa Gamera.
Wait, wouldn't Gamera have 6 holes? 1 for the head, 2 for the arms, 2 for the legs, and 1 for the tail?
I'm just imagining Baragon wearing the GIMP outfit now.
Oh no! Anyway, GBJ, continue.
Okay. Assured light flared out. Hey, I'm the captain now. Azure
No, you're not.
Yes, I am. Quite you. Azure light flared out of his arm sockets. Kamacuras screeched unhappily as Gamera rapidly twirled in circles, spinning like a saucer. No longer able to hold on. Oh, bye. Kamacuras was fly. Hey, stop fapping down there. You're only gonna hurt yourself. Kamacuras was forced to fly in an opposite direction. Predicting Kamacuras' trajectory wasn't difficult for Gamera. Gamera blindsided Kamacuras by propelling his spinning form into the insect before it could utilize its supersonic speed. On the chaotic streets, people watched Kamacuras push Kamacuras further away from the sky. Kamacuras gave one final shriek as Gamera drilled its body into a cloister of apartments. Aw, I didn't know they were looking for
Ew.
apartments. Hey, they didn't want to get the streets dirty, so they had to do it in an apartment. Like decent people.
Gamera shot his plasma.
Mountains of concrete and dirt flew into the air. The impact shook the entire city. Dense smoke blotted out of Gamera and Kamacuras' colossal forms. But Gamera's loud breaths informed all he was still alive beneath Gamera's gigantic mass. Oh my. Kamacuras in pain. Ass cracks had splintered. Leaking blood. Oh god.
I'm
I love when he talks.
No matter its durability, that could mean one or two things. Not even Kamacuras could withstand Gamera's mass crashing down on it. Ew. Burnt marks could be seen as well. The result of energy Gamera used for his jet proportion.
Burnt marks, quotation marks.
All I know is that by the end of this match, Godzilla's gonna be pissed at Gamera for cheating on him. The light comprising Kamacuras' bulbous eyes started to flicker. Gamera sensed Kamacuras' life force dwindling. In the back of Gamera's mind, fire churned brightly. Gamera reared his head back, preparing to deliver the final attack. But Kamacuras defied death by flying up and embedding its pincer claw deep into Gamera's neck, avoiding the armor plates encasing his sternum. Gamera groaned. Oh. But did not abandon his quest to annihilate its foe. Seeing its defiance would soon be in vain, Kamacuras moved to avoid certain death. Gamera raised his hand, gripping one of Kamacuras' stubby arms. Serving as a huge anchor, Gamera prevented Kamacuras from getting away. Kamacuras screeched in desperation. Gamera nearly opened his mouth, heralding the departure of his fireball. It lodged its burning mass into Kamacuras' gut, incinerating its internal organs. Again, that can mean one or two things.
You really blew, man. He was holding that in for a while.
Its kinetic force ripped Kamacuras out of Gamera's clutches. Gamera watched the fireball push Kamacuras into the horizon. It exploded in midair, vaporizing the Kamacuras. Burnt remains of the praying mantis fell to the city. Gamera prepared to leap, but realized the existence of another giant insect.
Wrong prey mantis,
gleefully
but oh well.
Gorged herself, leaving no survivors. Apparently, Megaguirus likes to do something to herself while she watches other kaiju. She found great pleasure in cutting opening. See? She found great pleasure.
I'm sending a message to Tom. He has a problem.
This whole thing just reminds me of this.
She found great pleasure in cutting open cars, scooping up its occupants, and swallowing them whole. What the fuck? Swallowing them whole. For some reason, whenever they screamed, a horrific grin crossed her face. Oh my. For the past half hour, Megaguirus was aware of the other giants brawling a few miles away, but she cared not of their affairs. As long as they kept their distance, she wouldn't interfere. Yeah, she just likes pulling the solo act. Even if they tried to attack her, Megaguirus felt perfectly safe.
Gosh
Many
darn
creatures-
yoik fangirls.
Many creatures had tried breaking her broad exoskeleton, but to no avail. She took a delight in remembering how she impaled them with her stinger. Again, that can mean one or two things, and sucked the plasma out of them. Ew.
Get your mind out of the gutter.
So with this one, it's gonna be Megaguirus versus Kamacuras versus Gamera XXX, I assume.
I'm telling you, some of these need to be renamed to instead of KWC KSC, Kaiju Sex Chronicles.
We could go KFC, but unfortunately it's for trademark.
Megaguirus relished the thought of doing it again. God, Jesus. still a little bit.
She has stamina, man. You gotta give her that.
But she needs to exert herself. She might exhaust herself to the point where she can't fight. Or, code word is fight.
No such thing.
Gamera's fireball blazed past the Golden Gate Bridge. Its intense heat burned the paint off cars. Had it been any closer, the metal would have melted. No humans were injured. In fact, there were no humans to be injured in the first place. Gamera knew the blame belonged to Megaguirus.
Well, at least it made it clear there were no humans in the area, right, Batman v Superman? Anyway.
Yeah, well, good job, Detective Gamera. Let's give him a big round of applause, everyone. Megaguirus' wings rapidly fluttered. With an instant, Megaguirus' titanic shape soared out of harm's way. Gamera's fireballs plummeted into a hill, obliterating it. Gamera gaped at Megaguirus ascend higher and higher, reaching aerial speeds well beyond his own. Out of the corner of his eyes, Gamera saw her swiftly fly over a street, emitting destructive sonic waves that tore the place apart. Gamera growled, knowing he couldn't hit her with his fireballs. He raised his foot and slammed it into the pavement. Gamera approached the bridge, shaking the earth with every step. He tilted his head, peering in the opposite direction. Megaguirus hovered a few feet away, smiling maniacally. She clobbered Gamera's head with her claw, making him lose his equilibrium onto the bridge, smashing it with his bulk. Oh my. Gamera started to rise slowly. You know, with the Tommy is saying Stinger for Megaguirus, I almost have to assume this matches Fuda. I'm sorry, that's the first thing that just came in my mind with Megaguirus.
I don't even know where we are in the match right now.
I have no idea.
Yeah, I know where we're at.
Yeah, I do too, so.
And yeah, pass.
Gamera rose up, breathing loudly. Megaguirus smashed her stinger against his face. Gamera wobbled in his steed? Screw it. Fighting to retain his balance. His mouth churned with fire, foreboding his intentions. Megaguirus flew over the damaged bridge, vibrating it with her supersonic waves. 2 fireballs followed in hot pursuit. Anyway, they connected with the bridge, blowing it to pieces. Megaguirus changed her trajectory, heading straight for her attacker. She rammed her stinger into Gamera's armored sternum. Not even its thickness could stop the stinger from burrowing deeply into his body. Gamera's painful screams could be heard for miles. Not everyone needs to know, alright? Fire once again churned within his jaws. Wait, what?
Kamacuras.
Gamera wanted to fry Megaguirus at point blank, but Megaguirus' stinger started siphoning the fluids out of him. I don't think she absorbs fluids, but whatever. Preventing him from firing his primary weapon. As the
this is Thomas. He could take any liberties he wants. He can make Megaguirus some kind of WHORE.
Don't even finish it.
Ladies and gents listening to this, do not spell that out in your head. That's all I have to say. As the flames died, Gamera writhed in agony. He could feel his bodily fluids being sucked away. His organs.
Ew.
His organs were being twisted and ripped out of their foundations. Double ew. Gamera felt his mana, the life force of the planet, and the one thing keeping him alive, slip away. Spikes jutted out of Gamera's wrists. Years of evolution enabled Gamera to no longer need to protrude spikes out of his elbows. Really? Now he could catch his foe. These gosh darn creative liberties!
But to be fair...
Wait, did he just turn Gamera into Wolverine now?
I can't. I don't think it's like. I'm not sure. Wrist. Like.
I think he's using the 1999 Gamera because
Right, but
after
that came out of the elbow.
no, well, originally it did, but then in 1996, the spikes they permanently were in. He'd have to
Oh yeah,
extend them
yeah. Oh yeah, that's right. Like the
now
future.
96, and then in 99.
Yeah, he had like all those extra like fingers and all that, or like whatever those are.
Yeah, like the spike moved to the wrist or whatever.
Wait. We're bitching about this, but we're not criticizing the sentient Mechanicon in 100 years.
That's going to be for much
we'll
later.
be fine. That's the future. You get to make fun of it then.
Old friend. That's for the future. We have a long ways before we can complain about that.
Why do you think I said 100 years?
Sorry, dude, you're thinking too fourth dimensionally. Now he would catch his foes off guard. Megaguirus screeched, knowing she had underestimated her slower opponent. Gamera swung his right wrist blade, dismembering Megaguirus' stinger. It took all the strength he could muster, but it was enough. With her connection severed, Megaguirus backpedaled. How could she do that if she's flying? Oh, whatever.
She's on a unicycle.
Like a certain frog.
She's good on her feet.
Screeching in pain, backpedaled, screeching in pain. Destroying her stinger set off every pain receptor in her body. All she could do was hover in midair, releasing high-pitched screams. Pass.
Gamera's eyes narrowed at his injured foe. Many lives were lost this day because of their titanic feud. In the end, the sanctity of the planet mattered more to Gamera, but its people held a special place in his heart. He'd annihilate Megaguirus and purge the world of others like her. To attain peace, sacrifices would have to be made. Innocent blood would have to be spilt. And cities would burn. Gamera accepted this. Megaguirus fought the pain. Her last shred of concentrated managed to summon the energy she had recently acquired. Energy fluctuated around her abdomen, forming an energetic sphere. Gamera was familiar with the sphere's makeup. It was the very energy that sustained him, and now Megaguirus sought to use Gamera's very life force against him. She directed the energy at Gamera. Complying with her wishes, the energy sphere fired. It grazed the air, disemboweling the ground beneath it. Megaguirus watched Gamera stand motionless. Her pain was temporarily distorted by the thought of seeing her stupid adversary die willingly. But when the energy bolt clashed into Gamera, it did not sunder his being. Instead, he absorbed the energy and used it to augment his own. In the final moments of Megaguirus' life, she felt a wave of failure and helplessness. An amplified fireball burst out of Gamera's jaws, striking Megaguirus. The ensuing explosion bathed a large portion of San Francisco in light. To many, it was as if a second sun had materialized out of thin air. Megaguirus' charred corpse dropped from the sky, splashing in the water. Gamera's mouth parted, issuing a victorious roar. A torrent of smoke blew out of his leg sockets, masking his feet. Azure light replaced the legs and propelled Gamera into the sky, leaving a trail of white smoke. With one final roar, Gamera chased after the horizon, seeking other creatures committing horrendous acts.
He's gonna have to punish Godzilla.
Oh dear God!
Again.
The battle today would be long remembered by the San Francisco citizens, but to the tourists that had managed to survive the ordeal, it was a profound experience in their lives. It was also one hell of a vacation. You know, for anyone that lived, sorry, families of 5, you're just not allowed.
Well,
Gamera.
It depends what kind of vacation this is. For them, for Gamera, it was certainly a vacation, all right. If you catch my drift.
I don't think it compares to Godzilla though. But
I think some of you guys need Jesus. That's what I think.
There's a sentence I wanted to talk about. It was near the end.
Which one?
The sentence, it says, in the end, the sanctity of the planet mattered more to Gamera, but its people held a special place in his heart. And I just wanted to say, especially the children, the sweet, sweet, innocent children to Gamera. Also, another thing I wanted to state is that thanks to this match, I added another piece of my headcanon. Megaguirus is a hermaphrodite, WHORE, who rides a unicycle.
Gosh darn it.
So hey, Vega, if you want to come back and make those tunes, this would be a great thing to visualize. Just saying.
Can we put the Law and Order theme with it?
Yes. Dun 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 dun.
I'm a little bit disappointed that it was just kind of like a basic Gamera fights Kamacuras then fights Megaguirus sort of match. Like, I would have loved to have it be a little bit more of an extreme three-way between them, and not that.
Well, when you say extreme, it's got to be extreme somehow. You can't disappoint your audience, especially those people who are watching. After all, they did say it was a notification. And just the way Kamacuras released all that liquid onto the parking lot.
The Megaguirus siphoned all the Gamera's fluid.
Hey, also, there's no way you could blame me since this is what Tommy writes. Blame the writer, don't blame the reader.
Yes, don't blame the readers.
Can we
who
just
have
have
their
like
own
a
interpretations?
I have no comment.
Can we just have like a little notification like before this starts that just says not safe for work? Blame GBJ for this.
We kind of did that one for Godzilla vs. Gamera.
Godzilla vs. Gamera.
I think we're gonna need to do it again.
And I think, I think to a degree this one might too. Like, I don't think it's as bad compared to Godzilla vs. Gamera. Like, Godzilla vs. Gamera, every other sentence you could make something up. Whereas this is, at least it was just kind of like in spurts. So.
But remember, guys, the next one is Godzilla taking on a robot. If you catch my drift.
Oh gosh.
In spurts.
I'm just gonna say right now, like, again, I have nothing against Tom. Usually his stuff's really great.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I was with the MWF way before he was in the KWC. I heard about what he did in that Mechanical one, and with the Power Ranger, Jet Jaguar, and everything. I will not be joining you guys when you guys read that because I will have amateurism.
Alright.
Yeah,
gotcha.
I recommend you join us in 164 when you get to tear apart that one. That one's going to be great. And I'm going to be there for that one.
164.
Oh boy.
I thought it was 167. Or was it 164?
Oh, yeah.
That was your wonderful piece.
Actually, I'm gonna go be serious for a minute for the match we just run. Going back to what KaijuX said about just Gamera fighting Kamacuras and then going to fight Megaguirus. When he fought Megaguirus, I thought it was basically the same as Godzilla vs. Megaguirus, except Gamera for the final fight.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of my 2 cents on it.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like nothing new was really brought, and granted, while it is sorta, I guess it is sorta neat to have, like, oh, here's Godzilla vs. Megaguirus, but with Gamera kind of acted out similarly in word forms. Like, I guess that could be neat, but even then, it's not really original per se. It's not given its own spin on anything outside of the Gamera absorbing, the blast and kind of using it against her.
Oh, bye.
The only other thing I would just say about this is, again, I like the banner's simplistic, but still I think suits it well. I mean, all the monsters are, like, I'd say to scale, and yes, they are kind of hidden, but it works. The major thing I would definitely say for the match itself is it kind of feels weird that both first off, Kamacuras, Tom always has like a good intro for this, but I didn't understand why both monsters were here. It kind of seemed like just coincidence. It really isn't Megaguirus versus Kamacuras because they never fight. It kind of reminds me of the much better Zone Fighter versus Godzilla versus Monster X, I think, because Zone Fighter fights one and the other, and it works with the story, and the banner reflected it so well.
Oh yeah.
But for this match, I don't think it balanced right. If that sounds weird. But
although slight correction for the Zone Fighter match, it was actually Zone Fighter versus Godzilla and Monster X for some reason.
Right. It was considered a quote-unquote team-up, but at the same time, he just Zone Fighter fought him in like 2 totally different places, so it makes sense in context. We'll get there when we get there. So.
And when you think about it, Zone Fighter was just fighting Godzilla as a sparring match.
Yeah. Spoilers.
Yeah, which is again very cool throwback.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, but that will be for that. And this has been Megaguirus versus Kamacuras versus Gamera, and we will see
Another
you guys.
sexy match.
Yeah, we will see you guys next time for match 29. Until then,
We'll see you next time.
When Godzilla entertains himself.